Hello, and welcome to the National Career Services webinar on how to develop confidence, motivation, and resilience during difficult times. The main topics we'll be covering are confidence, resilience and the characteristics of a resilient person, and some strategies to stay confident, motivated, and resilient when job searching. But to begin, let's get a sense of just how confident you feel right now. Using a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 equals not at all confident and 5 equals extremely confident, answer these two questions. So number 1, how confident are you with your job search and being able to find work? And 2, how motivated are you about your job search and being able to find work? Keep these, as we're going to return to this at the end of the webinar to see how you've progressed. Confidence can look different to different people. For some, it's the singer who stands up in front of a crowd and belts out a song. To another person, it's being able to perform at a high level in sport. It could be the person who's quite happy just sitting back and chilling on their own. It may be a follower of fashion, or it may just be someone who is really just comfortable expressing themselves any way they like. Here are a couple of definitions of what confidence means. But in simple terms, it's being comfortable being you. At its heart, confidence is really about how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself. This is what we would call self-esteem. This in turn has an impact on what we think we can do and the actions that we take. Unfortunately, it also means that we may not give something a go when it may prove to be one of our talents. But self-esteem isn't the only thing that impacts on us. We're affected by the environment, whether it's familiar or whether it's somewhere new. Some people prefer to be in a group where they're talking with their friends or their family. But there are others who actually find it easier talking to strangers, particularly for presentations. It can also be things like skill set, personality. So you may get someone who is happy on their own, working by themselves, or you can get someone who much prefers being with people, working in a team, maybe in customer service or something similar. Finally, it can be your support network, your friends, your family, your co-workers, or it might even be an organisation, such as the National Career Service, who support you. So let's try an activity around confidence. Think of a situation where you were comfortably confident. Reflect on how you felt. What made you feel confident in this situation? Feel free to pause the video here. Think about the question, make some notes, and when you're ready, unpause or press play, and we can continue. So moving on to resilience, here are some of the words that people tend to associate with it. Adaptability, flexibility, strength, toughness, determination, and ability to bounce back are the things that most people associate with this. But how do you develop it? Here you can see some of the characteristics of a resilient person. One of the things that people do confuse is that this ability to bounce back or adapt isn't just for difficult or stressful situations. It can be applied even outside of that. Resilience allows you to manage negative emotions, thoughts, experiences, so that you're able to come back in a more positive way. Resilience takes time. It's unique to each person in how they get there. It is something that can be learned and something that you can nurture. But as you'll find if you look more deeply into the subject, you'll discover that it has a lot to do with the relationships that we have in our lives. It's friends and family that we talk to, or possibly outside organisations again. Reframing is a useful technique, and particularly useful for resilience, as it allows you to look at your experiences, thoughts or feelings and see the other sides of the argument. If you look at the example that I've given there, the person's been made redundant, they feel terrible about themselves, they feel that they're useless at the job, and they want to give up. However, if you then reframe this, you can look at it that that was just one job in one company. When the person really looked at it, they realized that it was the wrong role, it was the wrong culture, it was the wrong work environment, and there just wasn't a good fit. That doesn't mean they can't do the job. It just means that this was the wrong situation for them, and they know exactly what they're looking for from their next job. Reframing really helps you to learn from the experience and move on in a positive way. I should also mention that reframing is really useful for if you want to describe your past job duties if you're translating them from a completely different kind of job. So as an activity around this, we're just going to give you the following tasks. So 1, think about an area of your life that you're enthusiastic about or love. Could be children, sport, gardening, whatever. Think about why you are enthusiastic about it and write down all the positive words and strengths you can come up with. Then, think of a problem or issue related to your job search. Using the words collected above, consider how you might apply some of these strengths to the problem. How would you change the situation, and what differences would you notice? If you want to do this, press pause. Once you've completed the activity, press pause again or play, and we can continue. So now moving to motivation. We're all motivated by different things. For some it's power or money, with others it's helping people, or it might be something more creative. Have you ever thought about what motivates you? Planning is a particularly useful tool for staying motivated and staying organised. With good planning, you set clear goals or challenges, and then tasks or actions that lead up to achieving these things. For example, you might want to get a certain qualification within the next 2 years. So the task or the action might be to research courses by a certain date, to have applied by a certain date, and to have enrolled by a certain date. By adding the course provider and the course information to this so it's more specific, it just enables you to make it something more tailored towards you. Now, in the example I just gave you, I use something called SMART to actually narrow down the specifics of the goal and the actions so they're a bit more targeted. So SMART stands for S, specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, realistic, and T, time-bound. Ideally, you would be the one that sets these goals and actions. That way, you're giving yourself something that you know you really can achieve. Finally, let's return to the confidence assessment that we did at the beginning of the webinar. Again, with the same scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is not at all confident and 5 is extremely confident. How confident are you with your job search and being able to find work? And how motivated are you about your job search and being able to find work? I'd be interested to know if it has changed much, but don't worry if it hasn't. The National Careers Service website has lots of resources to support you in your career. We have other webinars and other careers topics, and you can also contact us to see if you are eligible for a free impartial careers advice session with the National Careers Service advisor.